People often don't realize that what makes weight loss either harder or easier is first your relationship with food, your thinking, your attitude, and your emotions. So today, let's talk about 4 mental health habits that will help you lose weight. Now, before we get into this video, I need to make a disclaimer, as I always do when I talk about health and weight loss. I am not a doctor, I am not a nutritionist, I'm not an expert, I'm just a person who loves health. I love to grow, I love to always search for ways how to be more happy and more healthy. And I want to share all of that wisdom with you. But always with anything, check with your doctor. Make sure that you have your own knowledge before you just follow anything you read or see on the internet. So let's get into the video. Number 1, don't attach moral value to food. I know that sometimes when we say good food or bad food, we're simply trying to say this is healthy or unhealthy. But I really want to challenge you to use the right words, because when we say good or bad, that gives food moral value, and that opens up a lot of reasons for you to develop unhealthy relationship with food. It's really important that you use the right language. If you think that something is not healthy, you can just say this food is unhealthy. If you think it's healthy, say healthy. That will honestly help you feel much lighter when it comes to food. And when it comes to weight loss, the last thing you want to do is add more work, more emotional work, more physical work. You are basically giving a lot of power to food if you think that food is moral, right? Because that immediately attaches responsibility. So don't attach moral value to food. Number 2, stop rewarding yourself or punishing yourself with food. This is a tricky one, and obviously, there are instances where it's completely okay to reward yourself with food, but this is something that comes after you've learned how to not do that, okay? So that's kind of like the next step. We live in a culture where we use food for everything. If you've been raised in a family where, you always celebrate something with something tasty, you kind of can learn that food can be used as a means to celebrate. And food can also be used to soothe yourself or to, punish yourself. It's really important to, again, detach food. You will see a common theme throughout this video, which is, detaching food from moral value, detaching food from celebrations. The quicker you learn that food is food and it doesn't have to be a tool to use for celebration, the easier it will become for you to lose that weight. Of course, there's a lot of physical work, and that's a different video, when we talk about weight loss. I've made those videos on my channel, but here I want you to specifically focus on the mental world, because you have no idea how much easier it gets to lose weight if you can drop all those negative mental obstacles, right? There are many instances where you put in food that maybe you don't even want to, just because you're using that food as a celebration. It's a gift, it's something exciting. And let's say you are mad about something. A lot of us tend to self-destruct. Sadly, it's a coping mechanism, so you might use cookies or ice cream because you want to, punish yourself for something. Just learn to understand that food was not put on this planet to be this big obstacle for you. And I know it might seem that way sometimes, especially if you're struggling with food, but the minute you understand that food is simply food, the easier it will get. Which brings us to our 3rd point, which is start seeing food mentally as your fuel. There are many reasons why people can be overweight. If we would gather a group of people, each of them would feel that there's a different obstacle. But if there's something I've noticed, because I've read a lot and I listen to people and I watch interviews, if there's something I've noticed that combines, people who want to lose weight, it's this mental attachment. It's this comfort feeling. But when you switch that mindset, and you simply see food as fuel, you will make better food choices. Because if you think about a car needs fuel. You would never, if you want to drive somewhere, if you have a long road, would you pour water into the tank? I know it's not the best metaphor, but like stick with me. The car couldn't go with that. Would you put like juice or other stuff? No, it needs like actual fuel, right? And it's the same with food. For you to live a long, healthy life, you need fuel that is meant to keep you going. When you make your food choices and you look at food and you think, okay, what will be the most beneficial for me? When you see food as that, you don't see it as something bad, because you don't use those words. You don't look at food as a form of punishment or simply pleasure, but you also see it as fuel. Trust me, you will make better decisions. Because when you're in a healthy mindset, you're more likely to choose foods, even if they're unhealthy, because you actually want them, not because you feel like you're a slave to that process, or you feel controlled by food, or you feel like food is more powerful than you. So we have to go through these steps, because that will give you your power back. And then you can be more strong and more ready to choose whatever you like when you like, but you need to have those habits. And number 4, heal your emotions and don't use food as a patch. Instead of working with whatever it is going on here, if you go for that food, there are 2 big outcomes that will happen. 1, you will never feel satisfied. You will feel like eating more and more because it's not the food that you're actually craving. And 2, you will never really properly resolve what is happening here. I remember when I was in UK, and I've made a video about this, one of my best videos for this channel, which is how to develop a healthy relationship with food. And I talked about this there. When I was studying in UK, I would use food so much as my comfort. I never dealt with what was actually going inside. I just felt like every time I'm a little bit sad, I want a snack. And when I read the book, Eat What You Love, Love What You Eat, and it gave me so many insights, I tried this exercise where I was like, okay, the next time I feel whatever I feel, let's try to feel it. Let's try to not numb it with food, but let's try to understand what's going on there. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. It was hard because I was there sitting with my feelings, and food was my comfort. Food helped me numb those feelings, and I was sitting there, and I finally realized that what I was feeling was loneliness. I felt a lot lonely when I was studying in UK because Gus was back home and I missed him so much. And I remember feeling so sad when I realized what I was feeling, and I immediately started thinking, okay, how could I solve this? How could I meet him more? How could I meet my friends more? How could I socialize more? And I dealt with it. I dealt with that emotion, and food, yes, it gave me, that momentary happiness, but food would have never solved my problem. And this is kind of the main thing I want to give to you. If you are overweight, there's a big chance you have eaten too much. Obviously, there's no rocket science about it. If you have extra weight that you want to lose, you have eaten too much. Unless there are physical problems. Again, this is a different video. I've talked about weight loss. You can check more of those videos, but here I'm talking about the mental aspect. If you've clicked on this video, you're probably dealing with mental blockers that are not allowing you to lose weight. So really think about if you are doing any of these things that I mentioned, because very often that is the case. If we are carrying extra weight and mentally feel like food is controlling us, that already is a big sign that there might be mental habits, some things you have learned that need to be tackled before you just try to go to gym 10 times a week, before you try to limit your calories, which are things that, would help you to lose weight. You need to tackle this, because once you tackle this, it will make that physical weight loss process way more easier. Way more? A lot easier. Remember that any health journey, but especially a weight loss journey, is a lot. So don't be hard on yourself. You are your best friend. I always like to say that. Your head is like your best friend because you have these conversations with yourself. And if you're being mean to yourself all the time, if you're not properly taking care of yourself, your life will be way more miserable. So heal this. And I promise you that the physical stuff will become way, way easier. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, month, year, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.